Hello my friends, I'm Duchess and welcome to my YouTube channel. This week I decided to draw a character from Ni No Kuni Crossworlds, which is a game created by Ghibli Studios. It just launched May 25th of last month. Let's get started. A few months ago I watched the movie called Ni No Kuni and I really liked it. It was about two boys who were trying to save the life of someone they loved and they had to cross worlds in order to do so. Then a good friend of mine told me that there was a game called Ni No Kuni and he wanted me to download it and play with him. I was really surprised because I had watched the movie, so I decided to check it out. The drawing style of the characters were the same and I thought some of them resembled Ghibli Studio characters. I downloaded the game, which took all night, and I played for an hour or so. It was an interesting game, but it wasn't the same as the movie, so I'm not sure if they're related, but the concepts were similar. In the movie, the main characters were called wayfarers because they could travel across worlds, but in the game, it's kind of like SAO, Sword Art Online. The role that you play in the game is like a beta tester. I think you enter into the fantasy world like an SAO, but you're just supposed to test it out. But something happens to the AI who was supposed to help you throughout the game, and it seems like you're on a quest to fix the game or something. Anyway, the character I decided to draw was a swordsman that looked like Howl Pendragon. I chose him as my character, of course, and I kept his blonde hair and blue eyes. I looked up this nice reference picture of him in the real world and then in the fantasy world. I was going to draw them exactly like in the reference with the same poses and everything, but I decided to change it up a bit. The outline was really simple and took me about 9 minutes, but the sketch and ink took me much longer. I wanted to show the two sides of him, so I drew the regular version on the one side and the other version on the other side. The coloring part was a bit more tedious than usual because I didn't want to accidentally smear or mix the different sides and colors together. I had a few more layers than usual to help me keep everything organized and clean. For the right side, I drew his hand holding a rose, so I wanted to draw the left side holding his jacket like in the reference. It took me forever to draw his hand and it didn't really turn out the way that I wanted, but it didn't look too bad. The shading part might have taken the longest of everything in this drawing, probably because of the extra layers. I had about 30 layers overall, which is quite a lot. After the shading was done, I had to go back to all of my layers and blend it in. This part of the process, which was much faster than the shading and the coloring part. For this drawing, I decided to hastily make a background because I wanted to show the two different worlds behind them, like in the background. This is my ultimate background sheet method because I'm not very good at drawing backgrounds. So first, I color the background, color in the objects, shade, highlight, and add a few details. Then I go to the top left and click the one looking button. These options are basically filters and special effects. I press Gaussian blur and then move my pencil on the screen to the right to blur my drawing. This method blurs the objects in the background but still allows you to make out what they are or give you an idea of what it is. Lastly, I added some highlights to the character. That's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you found it entertaining, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next week.